The Vamos intensifies as Leviathan picks up a dominant win on Ascent. They'll lead the series 1-0 as we head into Pro. Welcome back, everyone. Golden Boy along with Mimi and Achilleos here. And there really is just so much to be excited about for this Leviathan team because you can hear it when Brennan Sideshow were in the cast, just gushing over what we were watching because it was just such solid gameplay. It was just locking out their opponent completely.
That's just Valorant that just makes you feel like happy on the inside. It's like every call they make felt like it was going perfectly. Every round it felt like they had the absolute perfect read on the game. And for Zeta Division, that was brutal. Josh said it was a dismantlement. I think that's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah, they just really struggled. I mean, able to get 2 rounds on that attacking side, but then just falling flat from there. The damage was done in the first half, unfortunately, here. As you can see, I mean, Dep, just a bit brutal to look at with 0 first kills, playing that Jet. Wasn't really able to put up too many numbers here.
And it's also weird to see Laz sitting at 6-12, man. Like, it's just not what you would expect from one of the best players coming out of the region.
Yeah, I think this was one of the big issues that we saw. And I mean, as we look even further back into that game in the first half, I think the issues were cropping up there, where they were really struggling to find effect in some of these early fights for the side of Zeta. They were never able to get space in the early round, get Dep those opening kills to shut down the plan for Leviathan. And Laz as well, it felt like he was almost kind of like chained to that Killjoy role. He was always stuck anchoring backside. On the attack, he was stuck on the lurks. He was not able to provide the same value that we've come to expect from this guy at international events.
Yeah, I mean, it's just brutally done there by the side of Leviathan.
Yeah.
I mean, unsurprising that they continue to look excellent on Ascent. I believe they're 5-1 now at international events on that map. The only loss that they've suffered was to DRX. But they had another one. They had another one to the tally. But that is just clearly their stomping ground. They feel so comfortable there that I'm not that surprised that it was so one-sided. Now it's all about hoping that this Pearl coming up here for the side of Zeta has a completely different look.
Well, let's go ahead, though, and fast forward to our Verizon high-speed moment of the match, and I think we all know what this is going to. It's going to go to Mazzino, who did the thing that I did all the time when the game first came out, but I keep trying to do it, and boy, oh boy,
Guys,
I
for the
keep
record,
failing.
You are not Mazzino. Don't do this in my ranked games, please. I do not want to see this one happening. But this was really, really ridiculous, frankly, that this guy just had the gall to stick that teleport.
But it also shows the lack of coordination, Seth, in this situation. It's like there's a high-pressure situation. Yeah. Obviously, a lot is going on. Leviathan threw a lot at Zeta, and then for him to just be able to just plop right there, that's rough, man.
Yeah, I think it's just really indicative of what the game state was in that moment. You're just kind of getting, beaten very badly so far up into that point. It was, 1-8 the round score, so only able to find a singular round win in the bonus. So it kind of makes sense that you're starting to get frazzled. You're not really paying attention to everything that's happening around you. And unfortunately, it's just things getting exacerbated. Nothing goes correctly here, and it just gets worse and worse and worse.
And for Zeta, they're really going to have to keep that mental in check, because in the past, it's been an issue for them. They lose that map. It feels like they start to spiral and are never really able to get back into a game. Here, they're going to have to hit that reset switch. So in the next few minutes, I'm looking for this team to be talking with XQQ, finding that full reset, and going into Pearl, because I think this is a map that they have a better chance on. Yeah,
well, let's go ahead and get that reset going ourselves here, because we do have our Aim Lab shoot around in just a moment. We'll check out on the player who's going to be. I believe is I think it's Dep. So we look. Can we talk about this for a moment? Because I think that Dep has. It was a tough game for Dep. Especially playing into that jet role. Takoleo was just dominating. King was hitting every single shot. Even shots he wasn't shooting, he was still hitting them. Yeah. I wonder, it's like, at what point are you leaving out one of your best players, and then when you slot him into the front line as well, right? Because I feel like you're wasting what Laz is capable of doing in the back lines, but then on top of that too, Dep, I feel like he just needs to have a little bit more support out there.
It does, but I also think he just needs to play with a little bit more confidence. Obviously, you're going up against Leviathan, and that's a very challenging opponent. We saw what Takoleo was able to do, but we're seeing a lot less impact kills coming out there from Dep in that first map, and he needs to have the confidence to be able to go out there, push himself to the limit, get a pick off of somebody, make that exit if he's going to be playing this jet.
Yeah, but I think this one is going to be difficult, because for Pearl, this is a map where we have not seen Leviathan's composition into this new meta. True. Last time we were able to get a look, it was with Taco playing on Chamber still, and in the offseason, they were permabanning this map. So there's a lot of questions around what answer they have. For Zeta, I think a lot of this is just coming in with their own game plan, with confidence, with a reset mental, and really playing to that. You need to focus on yourself here between these two maps.
Yeah, I mean, same could be said for both of these teams. We saw in the offseason a little bit from the side of Zeta Division. They were able to take down Gen Chi in the Guangzhou tournament. They were able to beat Boom as well over at Champions, but it was that chamber meta. So what do things look like now going into this? Do we have the Harbor coming through? Are they going to be playing a different smoke? Is it going to be that Viper? It's going to be double controller. Does Depp try to play something else? I personally feel it's probably just going to be the Jet, because that's where he feels most comfortable. But what do they build around him?
Yeah, that's a great question. And how is the coordination? Because if Depp is diving in, as they will be starting on that attacking side, and does not have the supportive utility to thrive, this game could just be over and done with right here. They need to take inspiration from their Pacific brethren in DRX, who played a fantastic game, setting up Buzz excellently on the Jet when they played this map.
Oh, it is, and I'm like a Zeta super fan. I've been following this team, you know, when they were absolute Jupiter, and I just have always enjoyed this squad. And I want to see them. I want to see them have that Reykjavik moment again, have that achievement that they're looking for. Here's our Prime Gaming Agent Select. We're getting at least, you know, nothing too out of the box here from what we've seen so far.
I mean, this is basically just their Ascent composition, but you flip the Omen for the Astra, and that's about it. So it's just widely going to be the same style, but we'll have to see how they decide to pilot on this map. Leviathan on the other side, Takolia still sticks with the Jet, but they have that double controller in the Astra and the Viper.
Yeah, I'm looking for Laz. How much can he find? He really struggled with the Killjoy roll on map number 1.
Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and dive into map number 2. Let's see if we can get a map 3. Could Pearl be the catalyst for huge change? Let's send it back over to Brent and Sideshow.
Yeah, hopefully that is the case here as we head into Pearl, map number 2 in our series between Zeta Division and Leviathan. If they can bring it, you know, listen, it's a map that Leviathan have not actually had much play time at all on.
Yep, never played it before. Leviathan have never played Pearl, so this is the first time that we're seeing their composition. And actually, Seth said that there's no changes really on Zeta's side. But weirdly, Crow and 10 have swapped agents.
Yeah, they swapped around their roles.
So that's bizarre.
It's unusual, isn't it? It is unusual.
I'm not exactly sure why they would do that. I really have no answers for you.
Yeah.
But Zeta Division looked somewhat coordinated with their composition. They definitely had pieces missing. The questions are going to be asked about how well they're going to execute this backside.
They are not messing around, are they? A fast take here of the Arc Control. Takolia tried to activate that dash in time, but just wasn't able to get out of there alive. Smoke's going to be using their pace. There's no way you're re-pushing this! Wow. The Trailblazer stunned up, and one of those left clicks. The coverage is there, and an immediate response once more. The Leviathan are so good at just making those decisions.
I mean, the re-clearing of areas is absolutely pivotal.
And Shy, well, locking it down. Okay, tip-tap of the Ghost, all down to 10, and he just opens himself up a little bit too wide. And, you know, what was such a good opening for Zeta Division is immediately answered in kind.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, that's what we were asking Zeta Division to do the whole of Ascent. If you lose map control, retaking it with utility is like core. It's fundamental how Valorant works, right? It's the push and pull of map control. You lure them in and then you retake it with your utility so that you have an advantage in the fight. And Leviathan playing it masterfully there. Both pistol rounds to start these maps have been pretty gorgeously executed. And it puts Zeta immediately onto a back foot. And I do think it's fair, Bren, to start comparing Depp and Takolia in this game. They've both got interesting stories heading into lock-in. We won't talk about that one. It's just an eco round, don't worry about it. But Depp is now the focal point of this team.
Yeah.
We've talked to the team and they've said, listen, we've restructured the roles and now we're playing around Depp instead of playing around Laz and Sugar Zero. And that puts a lot of pressure on a player that hasn't actually been that great when he's turned up to LAN events before.
Yeah,
he's been much better online.
A lot of the focus of Zeta Division, their success, you know, we've talked about players like Sugar Zero and Laz in particular, honestly, when we were playing in our chamber meta.
Yeah.
And so, you know, Zeta Division, we look at this team, they haven't made too many changes coming into this 2023 season, but they've changed up the roles, put their focus on different players.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure on Depp to just get stuff done.
And on the other side of things, for Takolia, they clearly have a lot of faith in him to be benching Kesnet.
Yeah, because Kesnet, I mean, it's just an absolutely crazy player, but an approach into the site, but just waiting right into the gunfire of Leviathan. No angles, left unwatched. And It's more than clean. Mazzino now 2 away from his own ultimate, from just collecting a couple of those kills.
And the Cosmic Divide can be really useful. Oh, there's no need to show replay of it. I mean, they're already down. You don't have to kick them while they're on the floor. All right, bonus round for Leviathan here. And this is normally where they're on the attack side. I would expect Owner to have cooked up some crazy strat. But on the defense side of Pearl, I'm not sure there's as much you can do. Maybe they're going to surprise me with something interesting. Killjoy utility gives a lot of information at the middle of the map. That's going to allow Leviathan, once things get down to like minute 10, to start spreading out and covering A main, B main.
Yeah.
But at the moment, still playing 3 in mid.
Holding it down. Just with their players. Push. Oh my goodness, Takulia.
He tagged Laz.
Yep, tried to take the fight. Actually, an exchange of fire between both of them.
And Taco coming out on top.
And he does, yeah. He gets out with his life, which is the important element here. Still locking down this B-long angle. Zeta. Patient play by them. You can see them just using that util, the Nano Swarm, to clear just in case there is a player pushed up behind that box. It's a common enough play. But it does orchestrate where a lot of these players are now playing towards, because Taco's going to have seen a lot of that util coming through. He can hear that fire, and he knows now that the time to strike is nigh for Zeta Division. What can they do in answer to it? Trailblazer spotting out a few of them. The Viper Ward to go up. This is going to be a really difficult obstacle for Zeta Division to try and get through.
And Zeta are so slow with this. There's only 30 seconds left. There's going to be 4 players defending. What are they waiting for?
Yeah. I'm not too sure, to be honest. Maybe the Viper will go down now, but this is the time to strike. And okay, 22 seconds remaining. Def claims the 1 kill. Doesn't have a dash available to him. A flash. Oh my word, that's labored. Dropping down off to the high ground. King claiming the 1 kill. A bit of running gun in action, but time is running low still. 10 seconds. More than enough for them to get that plant down. And the players did survive, but still Mazzino has managed to catch this timing.
Oh, this is crazy.
Doubled up. No way in hell is he able to win that one, and he does eventually get taken out, but not before doing a significant amount of damage to the Zeta economy.
Oh, wow, I was worried about that round, but Zeta come out on top in the end. A lot of economic damage, though, done by the bonus of Leviathan. And for Zeta, I know that they're a very slow team and they like to be methodical about it, but I was so concerned they were going to lose the time.
Yeah, running down the clock in that fashion.
And Mazzino still had a star. If they had planted in a weird spot, maybe he gets pulled off the plant or something and everything goes awry. But all right, Zeta, they managed to stay in control of that round. 1 away from the null command or the lockdown too. So Zeta have a chance here at establishing some momentum for the first time in the series.
Yeah, big ultimates for them. Who do they want to prioritize it on? It looks like Crow, so they want to get that null command online. There's nothing too new that they've been throwing into this one. The same utility just to take control of A main. And now looking back into mid. This is where Leviathan have been playing pretty heavily. This King just jiggling the angle. Knife out, making sure that he spots them, and there you go. Respect being shown, backs away. It's a split approach. You can see util being used now to null command as well. Depp up top on top of the box, hiding inside of his own. Cloudburst, and that's 10 taking that first fight. Eventually is traded. High ground angle spots where Mazzino might be playing just inside of Secret, and out of plant going down. It's slightly ajar that he can't be spammed out of that position, and a lovely fight to be taken once more, but an instant response. That's a Cosmic Divide. Quick thinking by Depp. He's going to be moving into his own Cloudburst with that dash across, and a fight to be taken. Mazzino didn't have anybody backing him up, and he will fall once more. Depp on an absolute tear.
It's another fantastic round from Depp. And he was one of the rare bright spots on Ascent. He was able to find his moments, not a ton of them, but moments where he was able to get these big rounds off, and he's just picked another one out for Zeta Division. Thanks to Crow getting his ult online too, because that opened up a ton of space, but Depp with a nice entry through art, being able to take a bunch of fights on the site too. Isolating his ones and winning them. Impressive.
Yeah, nice play. And a good game plan from Zeta Division overall as well, making sure that they were conscious of what ultimates they were getting online.
That actually does damage. Nulls going down there means that it's another rifle that could have been dangerous, taken out of the hands of Leviathan. Now Taco's in a spot where he's just got an operator and everyone around him is on an eco. He might lose the off here, and that would be really bad.
How is this going to be taken? Frustration on the face of Owner. The slow play that Zeta Division are opting into. The thing that found them so much success when they went on that third place run at Reykjavik.
Absolutely.
Slowing down their own gameplay. Now a play towards the top of B main. Just a recalled star. Being used to clear it, and on the high ground position, that was Taco. Could have been so dangerous there for Zeta Division.
That's a lot of respect using the lockdown in a straight-up anti-eco. The only dangerous player is Taco. And at some point in this round, he's probably just going to have to play his life to keep the off. Don't count Leviathan out, though. The skill on this roster is unreal. And wait, they've passed.
There's
they've
no
passed
way.
each other.
There's no way. They've just passed each other, but also Spike Planter going down out in the open. Depp. Oh my goodness, the discipline! Don't fail me now, Depp. Come on, we've been singing your praises, but he does claim the kill, but he instantly gets just answered.
That's a charitable donation. You can write that one off your taxes because a Vandal's gone straight into the hands of King.
Not ideal at all. Zeta left scrambling. They slow it down. Do still have the Spike just waiting here at B main, but Leviathan happy to just, okay, sit. Now giving up a bit more space though. Players should be able to hear them running back and forth. There's an opening here now for Zeta Division to actually capitalize off of, but the wall's going to be going up straight away. It's going to be putting a stop to this. There's 20 seconds in the round left. They're really just waiting for Laz, and that flank did not pay off. Just trying to play off the back of this one. 12 seconds remaining. Sugar Zero pushing forward. Doesn't even know where the Spike is, man. And inside the smoke, Shy, ready and waiting.
What a tragedy. What a tragedy that round is. Depp looked like he could have been set up in a position to get 2 or 3 had his team created some level of distraction. Even if he doesn't miss the player in the smoke up top, he's probably just getting one and getting away.
Yeah.
But it just all fell to pieces.
Boy.
And I think partly too, when Zeta Division are cutting noise and slowing the game down, they're not creating any pressure on the opposite side of the map. So the defenders are just staying where they are, waiting for the re-hit, and Zeta end up pushing in with 20 seconds into 4 players on the site.
Yeah, very readable.
If you're gonna play that slowly, you still need to create threats elsewhere.
I gotta say as well, I think 10 ended up planting just out in the open. He was able to be spammed from CT, from lower CT, I think, when he was trying to get that plant down. He just went down to Sheriff spam in the middle of that round.
There's an operator standoff on B, but neither look too aggressive. Instead, the fight happening where King is surely gets spotted by the drone. Did he timing that, really?
Yep, complete timing. Just working his way around the box. Zeta Division none the wiser. You can see Sugar Zero just running with his knife out. Thought it was completely clear.
That must have been like a magic trick for Sugar Zero. He just summoned a Viper out of thin air.
And the crazy thing is as well, King manages to get out of his life. Doesn't overplay it, gets the kill, gets back.
I mean, not even a single point of damage.
Yeah.
Okay, so returning back to where Depp is. And Depp has not spotted a single person. Not a hair on anyone's head for the whole round. And Taco's just been holding the same spot the whole time. These operators have just been holding completely opposite angles.
Does this get clear? The answer is no. Cloudburst to the side. A prediction was there from Depp with the shot rattled off, fired away, but didn't find his target.
There's 20 seconds and they're trying to run to A.
You just have no space in A main.
This round is over already.
Yeah, it's done.
And Crow's going to have to save.
They realized it. It looked like they were putting a bit of pace behind it to try and pivot in that way, but no. Just have to save this one.
And it's really unfortunate. I think the composition that Zeta has doesn't really lend itself to explosive executes, which is part of what you need when you're playing this slowly. We actually saw one of the teams, Carmine Core. I'm going to throw a rare W in the way of Carmine Core. Their Pearl composition played really slowly, but I actually liked how they played the clock on that map.
Yeah.
Because their comp, once it got to a site, was exploding out and overwhelming Loud, the team that they were playing against, I think, when Carmine Core had their best game. But Zeta Division, when Depp is opping and when you don't have, you know, a Fade or a Sky or something like that that can really burst into the site and empower your duelist, or empower any of your players, actually, it feels like it's lacking some get up and go.
Timeout now for Zeta Division. Had a reasonable beginning to this map here, but remember, in this kind of tournament, single elimination all the way through. They're currently sitting a map down, so this is the time to turn it around if there was ever a moment. stay in this tournament, to stay in this series.
It is a long, long ride home from Brazil to Japan, if this is all that Zeta's turned up for. It is a brutal tournament bracket. Every match is everything. And Deb still oh, okay, so the operator getting passed around, and I think that could be crucial. I actually love that. Normally attacking Killjoy operator, I'd be asking what the hell teams are doing. But I think when you put it in Laz's hand, he's such a good op player, and Depp needs to be more mobile around the map and actually use the initiator utility to take space. So I think this is a good call from XQQ after the timeout.
So the decision could pay off. We'll see. Pretty cool smoke, flash as well.
Bit of anti-synergy though. The flash landed inside the smoke, so that hasn't created any pressure. All good though, Laz gets another pullback smoke to cross.
Second one, just to set him up in this angle.
I think that's going to be fine though. Oh, great shot from Laz.
And you're finally starting to see it. It pays off. Laz, we were singing this guy's praises at prior events, prior tournaments, but his fight has taken place, and guess what? Viatan happy to wade into them. That is a really interesting decision to use the drone up close there, but...
And Noswa swings as well.
He swings.
I mean, that might be a tad greedy. Zeta Division in a 4v1 this round, all but sealed up. Laz empowered, Depp able to get aggressive, and instant rewards.
Starting to see it pay off.
I'm liking these timeouts from XQQ. Not a coach that we talk about too much, but thinking all the way back to their run at Reykjavik, how quickly they improved. Because Zeta were not looking great online prior to that, and during the scrims and during the tournament, they leveled up massively. And I think even in this match, there's not been a huge amount of success from Zeta Division, but a lot of the success has come after the timeouts that they've called. XQQ clearly has a good idea about what they should be doing inside the game, but then maybe the player's just not quite able to adapt as the flow goes on as quickly as the Leviathan guys.
Yeah. So the adaptations, the changes, they do work out. I like that, you know, a little bit of B main pressure to get a pick, just holding, waiting for the re-push, the exploration from Leviathan. See here in this moment. Good from Def, honestly, as well, just making sure to watch all those angles.
Yep.
Not only does he get the kill and the player pushing out, but he immediately trades out as well.
Yeah, it's great stuff. Depp has got the op back in his hands, though. So, despite the fact that giving Laz the operator worked so well for that round, maybe that was only because Depp had knives.
Yeah, it seems like that was the sole purpose of it.
Again, anti-synergy as the
dart lands in the smoke.
Yeah, the dart's landing inside the smoke. The flash nearly is as well. But it doesn't make too much difference. They're still able to set up their operator on the line. The recon dart would still be, you know, if anything, more difficult to break when it lands inside the smoke.
Yeah, and this setup is looking very familiar, honestly. Set your operator player up on towards that B-long angle.
But Taco isn't playing there anymore. They've shifted Shy. So Shy was using his Killjoy utility in the middle of the map. And now he's put it firmly on B.
What is going to be the goal for Zeta Division? Approaching that minute mark. The drone through into A, so they do have a bit of that control, and they force the Vietnam to use that Trailblazer just to get that extra bit of information.
An A split here would be really tough for Leviathan to hold on to. They grab some good information. But Laz denies it. Killing all three of the Seekers there could be important. Really the reason I say an A split could be dangerous, Taco needs a smoke to get out from this position.
Lovely. Reaction time's just ever so slightly off.
Mazzino had to use both of them there. He was pushed up himself.
Yeah, now we see that Cosmic Divide. It's going to split up this side, and it has to be the hit now coming through from Zeta Division.
Could be a pull-in backside. That would be difficult.
My goodness! On top of the box, flick of the wrist. Mazzino dealt with. And it's just jumping through the wall to try and clear that angle. Eventually, Spike goes down, but that's going to be a lockdown in response. Now to Hunter's Fury. This is what they were waiting for. Should be able to take care of this one easily enough, and there you go, destroyed still. The Vietnam making sure that they capitalize off the space that they gained ever so temporarily. Now, quick tap there onto the Spike just to try and bait a bit of that util out, try and force the positionings of these players. Dash to the side there, kill being found still. How do they win this one out? The Vietnam just trying to bait out these swings, but the fight's still being won in the turret. Watching Laz almost breaks his wrist with that one, swinging it wide and around, and time running so low, but just unlosable for 10. Waits for the perfect moment with that one.
The post plants are looking solid on the A side for Zeta. I was worried as soon as Depp went down, because if you remember, the other round that they won in an A post plant was Depp finding his isolated 1v1s and winning them. So when Depp got overwhelmed, then questions started to be asked of the rest of the squad. But their positioning was good, the way that they didn't overpeak into Leviathan. I think Leviathan could have done with being a bit more aggressive there, following the flash, fighting A main, getting up in the face, because they were stuck in a situation at the end where the time was against them. And 10, as you say, Brent, was in an unlosable spot. He literally just had to wiggle his face in front of the player.
Yeah.
King popping Viper ult here that extends really deep into mid, and he has a judge inside of it. But I feel like this round could be decided by the operator battle on B. If that goes in favor of Depp, I've got to think the Zeta guys return back for a B hit. Taco can't give them anything.
The way Zeta have been playing this, though, they are just perfectly happy to sit and wait. There's no real aggression or urgency, it feels like, behind the player, whoever's holding the operator, either Laz or Depp. It's always just been waiting pretty far back. And so the attack side setup is very similar to the last 2 rounds that we've seen. And Taco also, the way he's playing these angles, making sure that you can watch down for any sort of player that might just contact up.
This is going to be a lockdown fake over on A. You can see that Laz has got it. Astra utility put towards A as well, probably pull back smokes. Does Taco leave this angle? Does he bite?
That's the opener that they're hunting for. Zeta might not even know it. Still, no, he gets aggressive and he sees them. At least it's over. Oh my goodness, opens himself up to that angle, but doesn't pay for it with his life. A dash forwards from Depp all the way into the back of the site, and he gets dealt with. Just spammed down out in the open. 10 just trying to plant, but they don't have any control at the back of the site. And time again running low. What a shot! Sugar0! What a flick to hit. And still they will get that plant down, but isolated into the corner. Taco, he takes the shot out wide. Crow wins it out, and still Sugar0 needs to be the hero. Him and Laz, they step up. Down to King now. He's found himself a rifle, but he's left in that 1v2. The alarm bot's going to be at least showcasing one of his positions, but he doesn't know where the second player is, and Sugar0 primed and ready for it, punishes once more. Beautiful plays, but honestly, he got so scrappy in a moment there for Zeta Division. They had to get bailed out by just pure heroics, it felt like, by Sugar0 and Laz.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, you pointed it out before, but 10 trying to plant in the open is a disastrous decision when his team isn't set up.
It's the second time he's tried to do it.
But that is also a prime Sugar0 round. I mean, winning every duel, always there to trade his teammates. Maybe not there necessarily to hold the space for the plant to go down, but as soon as things got sticky, it's the old names, Sugar0 and Laz, stepping up and finding the kills, playing immaculately. And that is the magic that Zeta need to find. I don't think they've demonstrated a great macro game or utility game at the moment, but what they have demonstrated is Depp's had some pop-off rounds. Laz is clearly still skilled when he can get into position to have impact. And Sugar0, as you just saw, can still be the Sugar0 of all.
Yeah, guy can be a monster, can't
So if they can sync up the individual moments, maybe they have still got a good chance of making this a series.
It's forced Leviathan to take this time out. You see Owner writing a novel with his mouth. An audiobook, I think they call them these days, but guy's just popping off right now. So how do they adjust to this one? Because Zeta Division, like you said, Josh, you know, the macro game from this team, it hasn't been nuanced, it hasn't been too varied. It's been very similar. Set up the op player on B long, the rest of us explore the rest of the map, but
I think that can often bait the Leviathan players into going a bit too aggressive. To be honest, they've been pretty disciplined, but the Zeta post-plant situations have been the biggest strength for them. If you can call that prior round a post-plant. It was more getting the plant into position, but there was some post.
So holding for an aggressive play.
And I think this is an attempt at anti-stratting how Zeta are taking B control, looking to try and fight inside that smoke, get aggressive on the people that are taking B. But Depp was really safely positioned.
I mean, they were very ready for that.
Very ready.
Anticipating this one, and so Zeta might opt to try and re-clear up to the top of B here. Leviathan are still waiting around. Look at these forward positions. This is a bit of an issue for Zeta Division. They're going to be using their drone and their dart to try and clear close here. Okay, no, now they're going to be backing away. So when you use your util like that, your heavy recon util, that early on at the top of B, they could have really got punished by the players playing deep there on the pillar, but no, just going to be opting to run all the way now over towards A.
And this retake, this rotate makes a lot of sense. Zeta have realized that Leviathan's game plan was to play up aggressive towards the B site. They know that there's 2 or 3 players still over there. And for Mazzino with a stinger, can he make some magic happen playing inside the smokes?
The smokes are popped off though. He's got some room to work with, some room to play with, and feels like a bit of run and gun in action. Depp does clear his head right off. Still, there's another player lurking.
Wait.
And guess what? It's Shy. Oh my goodness, wading all the way around, and it gets so dangerous, man. It gets so tense in these rounds. It feels like Zeta Division, they're perfectly happy to make me sweat when they're playing down with just 10 seconds left to plant.
Yeah, I think Zeta are actually really comfortable there. They've got great crossfires and a good setup. But when the time gets so close, they only need to make one mistake and things can go wrong. But overall, it is pretty solid from Zeta. What I'd like to see an adjustment from Leviathan, and maybe Owner's already called this in the timeout, is I would like to see Shy play in the middle of the map with his alarm bot in the B-link, his turret over towards Art, and I want to see them fight aggressive, the rest of the team, on the extremity, so a 2-1-2 defense. And actually instead, you can see there's still 3 players towards the middle for Leviathan. This feels unnecessary to me when Zeta haven't been exploring too much on split attacks. They've been mostly going heavy A or heavy B just through one of the choke points. And you already have Shy's utility giving you info in mid anyway, so it feels to me like Leviathan are playing too centrally on the map and opening avenues on the outside for Zeta to punish. Yeah. We'll see whether that hurts them though. Owner's clearly called something.
It has been a core game plan of Zeta Division to be farming up these ultimates. That's just put Sugar Zero's ult online from that A main control. Swap of the guns, swap of the weapons. Got a rifle in the hand of Depp so that he can actually play off of this drone and try and take some space, but he doesn't push forward enough. He doesn't break the alarm bot.
And this is why I'm saying Leviathan don't have to be worried about mid, because Zeta are like, they're not actually creating any pressure. They drone, but Leviathan immediately realize it's a fake because the alarm bot doesn't die.
So peace of mind there. Now the Cosmic Divide though. Another Astral that's going to be used to try and split up this A side, and guess what? It's the exact same play that was being used prior. Depp on the high ground position, but another Cosmic Divide just intersects of it almost perfectly. And that's going to be putting a dampener on this push attempt. Still Zeta Division trying to stay one step ahead with the fast pivot right through mid now. Already taking that space into the B link, and guess what? It's going to be onto Mazzino to be a bit of a difference maker once more. They've already got the 1 kill, but the plan going down, and this is the danger. When you just bide your time and wait it out, still Crow rips forward with the ultimate, and there's only 8 seconds left. That is going to be the round. No time to work with, no space gained. And wow, 1 shot, 1 kill, it seems like for Shy there. Beautiful stuff towards the end, but Zeta finally getting punished there for burning down the clock a little bit too much.
And that's the double-edged sword that you play with when you do these attacks where you're really using every piece of the clock. And also, Zeta getting punished for not breaking the alarm bot early, because the call that Zeta made was to cancel the A hit and pivot through B link. But Leviathan were able to get players in position early because they realized the alarm bot was broken.
Yep.
Why would the alarm bot be getting broken so late in the round if they're committing to A? It doesn't make sense. It gave Leviathan the read.
Final round and a half now. An attempt by Depp. Tries to hit that jump peak. This time the Jet players hopping for both their sides as well, completely avoiding each other, but tackle on this angle, oh boy, do some serious damage.
He hasn't actually found too much success in this map so far. He's 1 and 6.
Good clearance.
He just hasn't been in a position to get kills early in the round. Zeta are always holding for it.
And this is quite interesting, quite new, honestly, a different development. Depp was actually quite willing to push all the way up there to be and take that aggressive angle. Doesn't get a kill out of it, but a flash over the top is nice. Is there going to be an extra element to it, though? And, well, Shy, okay, that's a wide swing. I mean...
That's the Rhino.
Any sort of help whatsoever. There's no one from Zeta Division to back him up.
You mess with the Rhino, you get the horn.
Shy claims 1 kill. Looks like he's not done just yet. Still a slight off angle there that he's holding.
And earlier on in this round, Bren, Nozwa used his dog in order to re-clear A main. So they've got Taco set back up on this A angle. I don't know what Zeta can do here. With 20 seconds left, they've just got to run into A and hope that Taco doesn't hit a shot.
This is so weird. They're going for the A split. And yet
Time's
Taco,
ticking.
it's going to be on him to try and at least break this as they're already approaching onto the side. 11 seconds remaining. Again, clock just being whittled down, and anything could really disrupt this one now. Flash and a pull. I believe that's a pull to just try and disrupt this one. No spam. Just landing a couple of those shots, but no kills going to be found. Crow solo. And a quick scope attempt. Taco right up in the air. The double updraft just to try and survive. Zeta Division, gonna need a miracle right now. Gonna need a play to be made. And it just feels so awkward, so all over the place. Swarming, converging on the positions. But Laz, the last man standing just at that hard approach. But Leviathan, they were not dealt with. They weren't cleared out.
However, overall, that was a good half from Zeta.
Yeah.
That was definitely more towards their style of getting those late round hits off, getting into good post-plant positions, and we saw big things from the important three on this team: Death, Laz, Sugar Zero, all up at the top of the scoreboard. Yes, Leviathan obviously have punished them at various points in those 12 rounds, but to get 50% is way better than what they were pulling through on Ascent.
Yeah, great first half of Zeta Division in comparison to that first map, but that's going to do it for this first half. Let's send it down to the desk to break it down just far.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. And yes, I will agree with Sideshow. We, you know, the players that need to perform on this Zeta Division roster have most definitely showed up here. But every single time they wait till 20 seconds left in the round to go and execute, my pacemaker can't handle it.
Yeah, it feels like Zeta Division were flipping so many of these rounds into the late round, and the mid-rounding was kind of the crux of this half. And as we take a look back here, this is one I wanted to take a look at, because this was a fake attempt from Zeta that I felt like was not particularly fantastic, right? They dog season, it's just the Killjoy there, they pop down an alarm bot, try and execute into this B site, and it's a stacked site. There's great utility to shut down the initial player who dives in. Shy gets a second, but the thing is, Zeta Division turned around and won this one anyway. The reason that Zeta Division was coming back more and more in this map versus map number one was even when the call wasn't perfect, these individuals were really, really stepping up in the late round, and Laz was one of those examples.
Yeah, he absolutely is. Might not be at the top of the scoreboard here for the side of Zeta, but the impact from this guy has been felt. We're talking about, you know, the opping, moving back over to Dep. We got to see it in the hands of Laz a couple of times, and some of the flicks that he was able to pull off to get that punish on Taco Leah were looking fantastic. That being said, though, 6-6, still pretty tight-knit. It's significantly better than what we saw on that first map. The copium here for Zeta is that this was side selection for the side of Leviathan. So we'll have to just wait and see how this looks now that we shift over, and whether or not Laz can have an excellent performance, level up even more as the defending Killjoy.
Thus far in this tournament, though, this has been a very attack-sided map, particularly with those B-long executes.
Right.
Most teams have struggled to shut them down, and with how coordinated Leviathan looked on Ascent, this could get rough for Zeta.
Yeah, the coordination has been absolutely absurd from Lev, but let's not forget that Zeta still very much in the fight. Let's send it back to Brennan Sideshow.
Still in the fight, and this next pistol round is going to be such an important one. I mean, we say this every single time, don't we? The pistol rounds typically tend to hold that kind of importance, but for Leviathan, they're a team that they do like to cook up some bespoke strategies, some custom stuff, and we'll see what they do now on this attack side round. Heavy play into mid.
Yeah, this is really deep, very unusual pathing. It reminds me of what we saw from Ascent when they were attacking, and they went all the way through Heaven.
Yeah.
I mean, they've just instantly taken Zeta Division's portion of the map in mid. And Zeta, normally you would want them to respond by taking something different. You know, going and pushing A main as well as B main and flipping the map, maybe. But instead now from Zeta's position, I mean, these guys that are pushed up on B are worried about them coming through the B link and wrapping them.
Yeah, it's quite unusual, isn't it? The price you pay, I think, with a bit of a gamble that Zeta opted into with this triple push, but it looks like that gamble, well, it might be about to pay off. Dep's just waiting, holding behind the blocks. He still takes the peek, though, and now he's been spotted. Did they clear this corner? The bait and switch, yes, they do. The discipline is still there. Mazzino, how do you claim two there?
That's ridiculous.
And it's up to Sugar Zero. Takes the swing timing right into them. Still, he's just being swarmed. Every single angle, every single direction, and there's that Sheriff purchase. Absolute Chad-like maneuvers by Shy.
Without any utility as well. They just broke that setup completely.
Still, what can Laz do now at the back of halls? Not too much util being used, obviously, on this pistol round to try and clear it, but angle watched for. And that CT push. Also, a couple of eyes, couple of guns just watching that one avenue, that one direction. So the pistol round goes the way of Leviathan, but I gotta say, the way Zeta ended up playing that, I'm a little bit annoyed, I think. Depp giving away his position just by peeking that. I feel like you want to be playing off the context of Crow, if anyone.
Yeah, I would generally agree with you. I think when Depp goes for a jump peek like that, though, it's so much less likely they clear Crow's position.
Sure.
And so maybe Crow ends up getting away with 2 and Depp can escape or something. It's just really diligent stuff, again, from Mazzino, clearing that corner. And more so than that, recognizing that that's a common setup. That if you see a jet there, there's probably someone to the left.
Yeah.
It's just good game sense.
Very aware that they left open just the entirety of B main, that they could have been those players in that position.
And you see Taco now charging down with Nozwa's dog, the Trailblazer. And Mazzino's going to get a good plant off here, sorry. But I want to put a bit of a focus on Taco because he's down at the bottom of the scoreboard. The score's 6-6 in the first half. You want to do a jet comparison? Taco is way, way hurting compared to what Depp's been able to produce. Just by not being able to get aggressive on the defense.
Yeah.
But now that they're on the attack side, hell, you think about how Aspas is playing this sometimes with Loud in a similar comp, where he's just got the Sky to set him up.
Yeah, hyper-aggressive, making sure to play off the util.
Yeah, you could see Taco having a resurgence in this half.
Might end up taking over. Certainly still got the confidence, obviously, with that rifle purchase. In fact, that's Leviathan actually going for same buy that FPX kind of popularized, now Na'Vi, where you end up leaving 2 of your players on the pistol buys. So you buy those 3 rifles in. If everybody survives, now the next 2 players can end up buying rifles as well as you head into your bonus.
Yeah, and Leviathan are such a good bonus team.
And look at this.
Ever since Ona has joined this squad, their pistol round strats, their bonus round strats, and their discipline. Those are the big 3 things that I think Ona has added to this team. Along with just the mental game being a lot better, a lot more resilient, because this team, you know, a long time ago before Ona joined, used to be known as the Chokers. I mean, you couldn't possibly call them that now, not even slightly. So what they got cooked up on the bonus round, incredible rifles to work with, compared to where you might expect the weaponry to be.
Yeah, for a bonus round like this, almost on even footing with Zeta Division. And important for Zeta Division to not let this slip. Got an even half, you lost the pistol round, but got to try and answer back in kind. This is the round to do so. Still, Depp, angle pushed up, and timing is everything right now. Crosshair placement is just off. And he just didn't feel confident taking that fight, did he? Crouching in the middle of the spray down.
No, that was not a great fight for Depp. Interesting hold from Zeta. Now, that entire exploration towards mid, too, was just so that Shy could get a deep alarm bot in Art. And look how deep that attacking alarm bot is. So, I don't know whether they're planning to pivot back to B or commit to A here. But they've taken and retained a lot of space and information in the middle of the map. Over on B, Laz has been playing off his turret contact. He had a nanoswarm at the back. And he's just chilling over there. And it looks like he's not actually going to be impactful in this round, perhaps for the retake. Instead, the pressure on 10. Both teams are playing these rounds so slowly.
Surely Zeta, though, should be aware that it's not going to be towards B when you have a player this far pushed up. And with them giving up art control, it does give Leviathan that perfect entryway. Stun, doubled up there with the Trailblazer as well. 10, nowhere to run, nowhere to move. The spam through as he tries to play into the dugout. An attempt by Sugar Zero as well to try and punish this plan when time was running that low. Doesn't really pay off in the slightest.
And yeah, Leviathan just squeezing the life out of Zeta Division in this round. It's gonna be brutal. Zeta knocked down onto an eco unless they can keep these guns alive. And even then, it's gonna be a mixed buy.
Yeah, really weird buy, isn't it?
It is a great time to try and chase. I respect this from Shy. Go and take the ego duels. Uh-oh.
One of the players, yep, just corralling them right into the rest of the team. Making sure to pick them apart one at a time, hunt down these rifles. Don't let them save them into the next round. It's all, well, Laz, he's got a lot to play for here. Look at the wrist, knows he's being pushed and almost gets the third, but ultimately will lose that rifle in the end. And the damage he was done isn't even that much. If you think about it, what we were talking about prior with the economy, the way that Leviathan ended up playing that one, they have enough money to buy rifles back onto the 2 players that ended up falling.
You just saw the opening fight again there with Depp wide swinging off a timing that he had. And that one really hurt Zeta. Playing the rest of the round 4v5, so difficult. The only thing that Laz's kills have done there is push him a bit closer to a lockdown. He's 2 away from that. But So I'm going to help him now.
Yeah, I mean, how do you even get usage out of that one?
Yeah.
Zeta being dropped down to the half bite. And attempts now, you can see. Okay, risks being taken. There was a star to punish that one as the orb was being picked up without a care in the world. And just from that presence, now the Trailblazer. Taco's also going to be pushed up onto this deep angle. The rest of Zeta opting to just stack onto the one section of the map, but it looks like now they're going to be flooding back to try and contest towards B.
The spike's a long way away. So by the time the plant gets down, Zeta are going to be in a position to contest it.
Ooh, the double peek, but okay, backed up.
Yeah, they don't hide and wait for the tap.
Yeah.
And coordinate that. They just kind of run in, two of them.
Sugar Zero just playing off a pure instinct with the swing timing like that, but
It's more like an aim labs tutorial than anything, isn't it?
just offering themselves up to Leviathan there, just making sure that they can... Yeah, not even going to be trying to play to die to the spike, just looking to see if they can get a couple of kills, I suppose. But
I mean, that was actually just a King aim labs shoot around. He's just practicing on the B site of Pearl.
yeah.
Okay, though, it's an eco. It's not that worrying for Zeta, but now they need rounds on the board. 10-6 down after a really good first half.
Sad to slip, isn't it?
It definitely is.
Remaining.
That one is absolutely a prime game of flawless. Yeah. So what is the game plan for Zeta to get them back into this map?
Got to see something different.
Death with an operator.
This could be it. He's playing a deeper angle. Leviathan. I saw a flash there to try and cross them. Through Trailblazer up close as well. That's going to be clearing the close pillar. Still on that high ground position. And look at it. I mean, they're just so diligent. Instant Cosmic Divide going to be used to split up this site. So will there be a repeat? It looks like Dep might be opting into this one at the back of Halls as a smoke just to try and push them away.
This wall execute is so good.
And the Nano Swarms at their feet as well. There's just so many layers to it. And now the lockdown.
I mean, the lockdown might be a bit much, but it does push people away and buy a lot of time.
I mean, I think it just puts that time pressure down again onto Zeta Division. One Nano Swarm going to be popped off. Shock dart.
That's got...
It's close.
Yeah.
I believe
Must have got rid of the
removed
other
it.
one.
Yeah, must have removed the other one. But now the smoke's going to be dropped down here. So he's going to be trying to take that fight straight up. And again, it's 10 who just opts to try and play around that spike to try and defuse this one.
This is silly.
Blind firing into this, and it's okay, Sugar Zero. Going for the flank attempt, and he needs to be more than a difference maker. He needs to make the play, but time again was just too damn low. With the lockdown pushing them all back, Zeta lose another round and a losing grip of this map and series, Josh.
That was the round that Zeta needed to win, and the retake just wasn't there. The cacophony of smokes just all over the place, like a
sheer chaos,
like a mushroom growth
Yeah.
that descended upon Pearl. But normally, when we've seen successful retakes on B, you put those smokes much deeper and you try and push up aggressively towards Pillar as the retaking team. And instead, they just set up a firing line again for Noswa this time. Leviathan running away with the attack side, and I think the desk are right. This map is trending attack-sided, and Leviathan showcasing that, you know, 6 rounds is actually not that bad for them on defense.
Yeah. So timeout taken for Zeta Division. It will die for them. As we said prior, 11-6 is the scoreline, and they need to convert this map if they want any chance of staying alive in the tournament, in the series. Can't be going down early, but again, got to think back to those storylines that we were setting up, that we were thinking about, you know. The tragedy that is Zeta Division, reaching those peaks at Reykjavik, getting 3rd place, and just unable to really match that kind of form and placement, always running into these incredibly strong teams. They did so at Champs, and they're doing so now against another team from South America.
And then in the middle of that, failing even to qualify for Copenhagen. So
Yeah.
it really hasn't been a good run since Reykjavik for Zeta Division. And it looks like their backs are up against the wall again. Leviathan 2 points away from sending the Japanese team home. And with Tokyo on the horizon, Bren, the Japanese fans will have been hoping to see glimmers of light from Zeta in this tournament, even going up against a top-level team. And I think that they did in the first half of Pearl, but where's it gone?
Just a little bit missing. Flash round the side there. Noswa catching himself in the moment. There's a Nano Swarm just to punish that one, and it's a faster play. This is a little bit more different. Taco's in a lot of trouble. Nano Swarm's chunking him down. Even the shock darts. Bit of random spam will do it from the bullets, and he is making it easy for them with these traces, but it's a pop flash play. An instant response, instant action, and as the smoke dissipates, Zeta Division respond beautifully, answering back, finally getting that round on the board on their defense side of Pearl.
Really good defense side from Zeta there. And that's one of the first rounds where Leviathan have done something quick. There's still so much time on the clock when they commit to A, but a few things go really well. Laz's Killjoy setup, perfect for countering that classic dash onto site. And then also a flash through a smoke from Crow sets that double push up. Both Ten and Crow have been really struggling in this map, but they got a couple of good kills there and a really nice collapse onto that attempt. I don't think Leviathan are going to be doing fast hits onto A anymore.
No, sticking to probably what's been working for them. The slower siege play style. Again, same Trailblazer, you're just disrespecting this dog. Okay, fully stunned up.
Oh, but this
Not
is
able to scope.
This is so rough. As soon as Depp gives up his positioning here, Leviathan are going to be able to get close to B and use a Viper's Pit. And they forgot the spike, perhaps, or are they pivoting elsewhere? Looks like they're leaving B completely.
Yeah, wanting to go in a different direction.
I am surprised with this, though. I feel like a Viper's Pit exec onto B would have been a great idea, especially with how consistent and successful those B hits have been.
Yeah.
Not just for Leviathan, but across the tournament.
Maybe
instead, they're going for an A split. Maybe they ult from Art? No,
Yeah, could
the
have been
Viper's
worried
going
as
A
well, I think, about a lockdown potentially. Of Laz. Very good tool to try and clear through any sort of Viper's Pit, but...
Is it not just as good where he's stood right now in Secret?
It is, yeah, it is. Let's see what kind of value he gets there. The Seekers clear all the way through, catching onto the one target. Laz, seems like they were relatively unaware, and there's that lockdown. Looks like he was thinking about it, but second guessing himself now. 30 seconds. Spike getting planted, has to be opting into this one, but there's a Hunter's Fury layered on top of this one now. On top of it, 10. Any sort of damage to be found? He's just firing at the floor. King skipping and hopping all the way around them right now, but his lockdown will push them back and out of position.
They can't. I mean,
There's no spike being planted. One player detained out in the open. Double up draft play. The Blade Storm tackle here is going to go absolutely huge. But 11 seconds left, and they do disrupt this plant once more. Shorty up close, right in the cloudburst. Swinging it around. There is not enough time. The spike once more denied.
what a round from Crow and Sugar Zero.
Still trying to stay alive as he is being pressured there, but they've ultimately won the round. And a bit more breathing room game for them. That was just so messy, so scrappy.
I feel like we've seen the exact same thing on the other half. Both of these teams running the clock down super late. And I think that that's a big fumble from Leviathan. They've got to know that the lockdown's coming through there. And when they... It's not just the lockdown, though. Mazzino took so much damage from the same nanoswarms that burned Tacolia in the round before. And they just ran straight into the same setup from Laz without trying to clear it, and then got caught in the lockdown and can't do anything.
Got to put some respect as well on Ten's name, because he offloaded that Hunter's Fury, and I thought, well, okay, well, what kind of value was that getting? But he did disrupt the plant.
Yeah, and
he was in
he
a common
delayed.
spot. He delayed with enough time there using that ultimate. But the question is, can Zeta do it again now that they don't have those big tools to work with? It'll be much harder for them, obviously.
But I think Leviathan also might have overcomplicated things just a tad there. And that could be a win condition for Zeta. Oh,
No way, not again.
Not again.
Not again. You have to be aware, surely. Oh, wow.
Mazzino's going to be calling that to the rest of his team, like, I've got a timing, guys. I've got a timing.
And what do they want to set up off? Util broken. To EMEA now, a flash play. That was anti-flash position by Crow. You've got to get a little bit more than that. Bounces it off the wall. Trying to get that full duration. And Tacalia just playing inside of his smoke. Anti-flash position. Beautiful stuff. And the question is, what sort of timing can be taken? Flicking around, you got to be joking. A certified Sugar Zero moment. What more can the guy really do? 30 health, skipping, hopping away to safety. And time once more running so low.
Can Shai discover Depp's position before Depp destroys his teammates? A stun to stop them scaling through the ult.
No way. No way. Just a spam and a common angle with the Guardian. Connecting onto that one kill. Spike's got to go down at some point. Shai
10 seconds.
Pushed up. 10 seconds again. Time just running so low. Shai moves into it. Wades right in and now swapping around the weaponry. It's pure chaos. But the Spike has got to be stuck. And the positioning is known. 10 just playing off of his teammates. Pulling rounds out of seemingly thin air, man. But the time, the biggest enemy so far, it feels like, for both of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, the time is definitely an enemy. Leviathan overcooking it, but also, look at how badly Taco beefs this trade.
Oh,
I mean, Taco's having a rough map here. And I think he's also, you know, cost his team that moment, because when Sugar Zero stays alive, he still has a stun to stop King getting into his ultimate, slows everybody down, then the time becomes an issue. That's a big whiff.
Beautiful play by Sugar Zero. Defining moment in that round to be able to keep them in it still, and Zeta are clawing their way back. Bit by bit, round by round. Zeta not messing around though. Now you're going to see that Cosmic Divide.
They've already seen this exec, right?
Yep.
Zeta know this execute. They know what's going to happen. Do they have any idea of how to counter it?
Crow has used his own no command this time, and Laz does want to try and hold on to that back halls control. Is there anything to try and stop this? Yes,
perfect.
Util, and they are counteracting it this time. Fragment made, the shock darts. Mazzino dropped down so low there. He's going to force out this lockdown as a response, but just a peek straight into Laz. Waiting into his sightline with the operator. Nothing to try and disrupt this one though, so the lockdown will buy them that additional space. The pump flash play working through, no one quite holding it. Crow needs to go down. Another flash play, but the angle was correct. Also going to be guessing, and still a faster play, even still by Zeta Division. They want to try and fight this one. Laz, what a shot to hit, but they have not dealt with Nosra. They know where he is though. Players low. The double swing timing is there, and wonderful once more with that coordination. Clawing their way back.
Excellent adaptation from Zeta Division in this series, in this map. Being able to neutralize Leviathan's strats after they've seen them once. Like the first time they're working from Leviathan, and then the second time, Zeta's there with the answer. This layered nade shock dart cascade to destroy Mazzino going for the plant is beautiful. And then on top of that, Noswa beefed his flash so that Taco had a bad swing into back halls. And Ona does not look pleased about what's happening. Calls the Leviathan timeout in round 22, when Zeta are 1 round away from drawing things level. What was the score here? Leviathan were up by so much.
Yeah.
Was it 11-7 or something? 11-8?
We were setting it up like, listen, Zeta were going to go home unless they answered back, and answer, they did.
Absolutely.
11-10 right now being that scoreline. Forcing out this timeout from Leviathan.
Yeah, look at that, 4 rounds in a row.
Holy.
It was 11-6. Leviathan absolutely running away with this game, and now 4 rounds in a row. One of which was lost to time. The other lost to time pressure. And then you get a great retake there, or, you know, a lot of pressure on the plant itself in round 21. So Leviathan just not able to get free plants down. I think Leviathan could try to run a cool fake in one of these rounds, but they really need a big ult to work with, I think. But like a good lockdown fake or a good Cosmic Divide fake would have been fantastic, but now they've used those tools.
Yeah. Now what is going to be this game plan? In terms of the ults, Nosra is 1 away from his Seekers. Not too much off the back of that. I mean, I suppose they could take the back side control of one of the areas of the map, but...
If I was Laz, I'd almost be saving these nanoswarms to try and deny the plant when they go through. Like, just allow yourself to get smoked off and then throw them in. But he's trying to hold on to back halls, and that also is going to apply a lot of pressure to anybody trying to get the plant down. So I think the win condition here for Zeta is pretty clear. Allow Leviathan to burn the clock down and then try to deny the plant.
So they will get those Seekers online that we were talking about earlier. It's a slow spread attack side default from Leviathan. 3-1-1 setup.
The other thing too, from King's point of view as the IGL for Leviathan, if you find out that Laz is playing B, you can just hit A. Because Laz's utility has been the big thing stopping your A exec.
Yeah.
But they can't hit the turret, I don't think, in B link. But if they do get that read, an A split would make sense.
And they're just contacting. Through now into Art. Entering that mid-round now with only about 40 seconds remaining in this. Still holding on to a bit of semblance of A-main control. You can see Mazzino's in a pretty
really
deep angle,
passive,
but
though.
oh my goodness, it's passive and needs to be some value here. There you go. An answer once more. So the 1-for-1, Depp now taking an aggressive play, pushing through. Smoke's fading and he just can't quite hit the flick. Down to Sugar Zero now with only 20 seconds remaining. There is a spike. Oh, there you go. The Astra Star lay it down, but not enough to disrupt this one. And up close in his face, there is Shy. Is this going to be cleared? Timing, so important. It's absolutely everything in this. As the smoke goes up, Sugar Zero claims the kill. And now the wall Cosmic Divide to split this one up. It's going to be forcing Leviathan to try and play a little bit closer. They have to try and push through this wall. Snakebite, Util being used to try and at least buy them a bit of time. Fragment Nade as well, but the wall needs to be watched for now. What is the play? What is the response? What is the answer? All this Util being used on one side to the other. The spike, not being diffused just yet. Laz just takes the fight.
The pull is good, though.
Pull is good, and now time, solo, needs to be someone on it, and a flick, the spray down, Mazzino rips across. 12-10, and Leviathan now sitting themselves at series point.
Great post-plant play from Leviathan. I think there was a lot of challenges that they had to deal with there. Zeta Division, if they had been able to pull out that suck earlier, if they could have tapped the plant, but they were just waiting for the Viper utility. So I think you've got to give massive credit to King for delaying for so long, and then lay it in with Mazzino's suck, and then you've got the post-plant flank that Mazzino did. And another full-body Famos there coming out from Owner.
And this is aggressive. The triple play, anything to break this Trailblazer. It's a swing timing, surely no. Oh my word. Listen, when your back's against the wall in this kind of fashion, risks do need to be taken, but to this level,
there's the dash.
Are they going to clear this? They seem to be aware of it. Look, Taco, he's holding it. Dash enabled. Surely he's favored here. Yeah, there's the shot. Didn't even need to use the dash, even facing the wall just in case there was a counter flash play, and this could just be crumbling before our very eyes.
The rest of Zeta was so
Crow!
timid. What a shot from Crow.
Needed to find it. And now they back away. To be playing this one quite too aggressively. It's a shame they couldn't quite get those rifles in their hands, but at least salvaging that and going 1-for-1 might just be good enough for them.
Throughout this entire map as well, Leviathan have really been lacking A main control, so I think this is just going to have to be a committed to B, and that puts you into the loving arms of Sugar Zero with his Vandal.
He does have that rifle. That is an important thing to note, because the buy from Zeta Division, not that good from a couple of them. The flash play! Absolutely magical! Zeta Division collapsing on the players, and still the swing comes through. A forward position by King is punished, and the absolute confidence from Sugar Zero to take that fight. They're not out of this tournament just yet, Josh.
What a phenomenal comeback from Zeta. Being down 11-6 and pulling things back, so that now we head into round 24, their economy's recovered, and if they win this, we go to OT. They put so much pressure on Leviathan, and I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that Leviathan are just not taking A main early. I'm not sure why, but you know, if you compare the comp to Louds, they don't have that cascade. Okay, now the fight for A main early, really early.
An absolute beef, flashed up, dashed into the wall, and Depp was taken out.
That's the playmaker gone for Zeta Division, or at least one of them.
And this could be heartbreak for Zeta Division. Oh my goodness.
Surely that was supposed to be a bounce shot as well from 10.
Deactivated the bounces at the last second. And you can feel Zeta Division, they're just getting flustered.
Yeah, the nerves, they start to play in moments like this.
So a rifle is acquired. This was a weaker buy by Leviathan. They weren't working with much, and it's a contact re-clear right into the Mazzino. So calm. Another day in the office for this guy. And I said it once, but I'll say it again. Heartbreak for Zeta Division. To bring it all the way back to this. So many rounds in a row. But it's these rounds that'll get you. And it's up to Crow and Sugar Zero to perform a miracle, to drag their team into OT.
And they looked lost for a moment there, just milling around in their own spawn. But I think they've got the read. 2v5. It would have to be pure magic for Zeta Division to get this into OT. Leviathan are so favored.
You need something really special. It's a pop flash play. Crow, he's right up close. There's the one kill found. What more can he do? Timing once more. He gets the second. In a punishable position, though, to spam into the angle, and he's fully blinded up. The swing will finalize it, and Zeta Division have been sent home.
An excellent performance from Leviathan, but they were pushed almost to their limit, almost to their breaking point on Pearl. A very different story, the two maps that we've just watched. A phenomenal masterclass on Ascent, and then the time, pressure, the crazy rounds, the mega plays coming out from Mazzino, King, Laz, Sugar Zero, so many players turned up on Pearl there. Into I think, a fitting exit for Zeta. I don't think they can be too upset about what they showcased there on Pearl. It was, finally, a good performance from them and something to make the Japanese fans have a bit of confidence that maybe they can make it to Tokyo. But in this series, Leviathan was just too much. And that's what we were worried about. Zeta just running into an extremely scary squad in the first round.
Unfortunately, again, it is that early exit for Zeta Division. Coming into, at times, a team that looked like they were just performing that masterclass. You know, we've been singing the praises of Leviathan all series long. But this team making waves, they've been striking fear into the hearts of the competitors at the event as well. We're speaking to them about their performances in scrims and practice. People saying that in some cases they might be favorites to win the entire event.
And I think that's a bit too early to call from our position, right? Sometimes scrims can be very different than matches, but I think this is definitely a team to keep your eye on. The role swaps have all worked. Mazzino looked fantastic on smokes. And I would say that Shy also stepping into his role as a sentinel player beautifully. You know, one dodgy map there from Taco, and he's going to be a player with a lot of focus on him because he's put Kesnit onto the bench. But overall, a very good opening series from Leviathan.
Winning it out in 2 maps. I won't say the most clean of fashion, obviously, that final map. Plenty of moments where it could have gone awry, could have gone one way or the other, but
it gave us some highlight moments,
yeah, I mean, it delivered. It delivered.
And I do want to give a shout out to Depp too, because he was a player that they were building around, and I know I wasn't confident about it. When I heard that Zeta Division were building around Depp, I thought, that's a mistake, because Depp has not performed very well at previous LAN events, and you have Sugar Zero and Laz on the team. But at this tournament, in the few glimmers that we saw, honestly, as they very quickly exited, Depp looked good.
Yeah.
Depp was being empowered, Depp was finding his moments, he was getting good value.
Yeah. Good ideas being placed behind him on the jet, but...
And so maybe Zeta getting some justification despite the early exit for sticking with the same core of 5, but they're certainly not going to go on a Cinderella run this time.
Owner just delivering the Vamos that traveled around the world, I think, as well, at multiple points of this series. Man, that guy, he needs to listen. Heart's probably racing.
Yeah.
Careful about the blood pressure, man.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, the blood pressure is only going to go up as the tournament goes on. Leviathan's bracket is stacked. We saw Na'Vi absolutely crush their opponents earlier on today, and Na'Vi looked crazy good. So, I mean, even assuming that match would happen, which is a long way off at this point.
Well, we have our match MVP as well that you guys can vote for here. Mazzino, King, Shy. 3 very good options as well.
Crazy good options.
I think, yeah, I mean, I'd be struggling, I think. Actually, I was about to lie to you. I would struggle to pick an MVP.
Who's your MVP?
I would say Mazzino, I think, quite confidently. I think this guy's changed his role. He's playing a new role as well, quite intelligently. I mean, the guy was just a difference maker in so many rounds that, for me personally, listen, I'm going to be biased. I'm going to be swinging the votes because people are going to be listening and be like, oh, yeah, no, I agree with Brent. He's a smart guy. We'll go with Mazzino. But,
yeah.
I think you could go for the other options as well. King and Shy definitely put up some unreal performances as well.
Yeah, I agree, though. I think Mazzino was the shining light here. And also, one question that's been answered. Is he going to be good at a completely different role? We haven't seen Mazzino play smokes before, but I think he just picked it up and looked immediately great. Yeah,
performed so damn well. That's going to do it for the series of the day, but we're not done just yet. Going to go to a short break, and on the other side of things, the desk going to be breaking down the action for the day. So we'll see you in a bit.
Atornante y amenaza, necesita volar. Las estrellas que tan lejos y le gusta gozar, que le gusta brillar. Me ayuda a olvidar que este mundo tiene mierda y no saben vacilar. Me dijeron que tú sabes qué hacer, que tú tienes el cerebro y tú sabes mantener, que tú no tienes miedo de tener todo poder. Me das que necesito para llegar a otro nivel. Dice por la calle que tú tienes un cojete, vamos al espacio que la fiesta si comete. La tierra es aburrida, tengo nada que hacer, entonces prende tu cojete, las estrellas quiero ver. Dice por la calle que tú tienes un cojete, vamos al espacio que la fiesta si comete. La tierra es aburrida, tengo nada que hacer, entonces prende tu cojete, better rock it like I said.
We have a battle of the Americas versus the Pacific regions. It's going to be Leviathan versus Zeta Division, two teams that we are unsure what to expect in this one, especially for the boys in Zeta, given that this is the same roster with some slight tweaks.
Right as a smoke, just walking through. Way! You've got to be joking. There's no way. How? There's no way. A lot more active in this one, and the timing is just immaculate. Depp, 12 seconds to dash from Depp to survive, and he does nail the shot.
Very solid round from Depp.
Players just sitting in main, no one none the wiser. And again, once more, King just back and forth around Generator, and that will seal the deal. Map number 1 goes the way of Leviathan in a dominant fashion. Double tap, no way in hell is he able to win that one, and he does. Oh, the double peek, but okay, backs up. Yeah, not even going to be trying to play to die to the spike, just looking to see if they can get a couple of kills, I suppose.
I mean, that was actually just a King aim-lab shoot-around.
And he is making it easy for them with these traces, but it's a pop flash play. An instant response, instant action. Now time, solo, needs to be someone on it, and a blink to spray down. Massino rips across, and Zeta Division have been sent home.
An excellent performance from Leviathan, but they were pushed almost to their limit, almost to their breaking point on Pearl.
And those are your Prime Gaming post-match highlights there as Leviathan managed to vamos their way to victory with a 2-0 win, taking down Zeta Division on their map pick on Pearl. Welcome back, everyone, as I'm Golden Boy along with Mimi, as well as Achilleos and Seth. I mean, you know, I think we went into this matchup. We were a little worried for Zeta Division because they didn't make a lot of changes. Into Josh's point, we didn't quite know how they were going to build around depth. But I will say that coming at the end of that game, I felt like, hey, there was an opportunity for that Zeta magic to pop up.
Yeah, I mean, we started seeing it in the first half. It did end as a 6-6, so not nearly as dominant as you would like to see, given it was their map pick. But they were able to run it back. They did not let the stomp of that first map, a 13-4 to LEV, really get to their heads, and they nearly ran this into overtime. Honestly, we did see those glimmers of Zeta that we've seen in the past. It was great to see them be able to make this a challenging series in the end. Unfortunately, it does mean that they are going to be going home.
Yeah, I think what was interesting about this this match was the second half was one about both teams kind of struggling on their attacking side. But as we pull back to the series more holistically, I think what Leviathan proved fantastic at was these post-plant situations. While they didn't always get into them on Pearl, once they got into these spots, this team's coordination was impeccable. I thought they did a really good job of setting up in crossfires, really kind of timing out their utility so they know exactly this is happening first, this is happening second. It is clear that they are very well drilled, and I think they lived up to a lot of my expectations that we've heard from some of these Wild Scrimbucks.
Yeah, and also just great reads. Every time Zeta was trying to go for a lurk play, particularly around that B-long area just up against the wall, they just knew that there was going to be somebody there. They were constantly checking that angle and being able to get that punish time and time again. So whether it was a full buy or it was one of those, thrifty attempts coming through from the side of Zeta, they weren't able to find value because they were just getting read and shut down.
Yeah, and I think as well for Leviathan, well, overall, this is a very exciting debut for the new changes to this roster. I do still have some questions surrounding them, particularly with that Pearl attack side. I felt like they were very slow to adapt to once Zeta Division started coming out with those fast pre-takes and stuff. They were still playing very slow rounds, sometimes letting that clock click down a little bit too far.
Yeah.
But these are all things that they can work on. They have a very solid base, and I think they're going to be a very strong team into the rest of this tournament.
Yeah, if that's the foundation that they have, I'm excited to see the house they build. But before the break, though, we asked you guys to vote for the player of the match, and the results are in. So let's go ahead and see what y'all decided was the MVP. And you know what? Wow, by a landslide, Mazzino. You know what, Seth? Not mad about that.
No, I don't think you really can be, just given how he's able to play across both of those maps. I mean, still the boldness of that TP play up into A7 to just go ahead.
I think it was all the
shut them
Broman
down.
mains that they were the ones that voted for him.
Yeah,
there.
88.4% of his Omen mains just yeah. I was going to say something that I'm not allowed to say, but they were going crazy over it, and I don't blame them.
Oh, man.
Anyways,
Doing me dirty, production. Doing me dirty.
Mazzino came into this one, and this was a fairly new role for him, being the dedicated controller for this team. And like you said, he looked fantastic on it. Really great game out of him. I think a big upgrade for Leviathan.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations to him. But unfortunately, that means we have to say goodbye to Zeta Division. The hopefuls from Japan who came into this one knowing that it was going to be an uphill battle. But we have seen this team persevere through very difficult circumstances in the past. This is a team that fell to the Champions winners in Istanbul.
Twice.
They always seem to run into these brick walls, Mimi. And I'm excited, though, nonetheless, to see what this team can do as we head into the Pacific Division.
Yeah, I'm excited to see more out of Zeta Division. I think that second map showed some big positive moments for this team. I think they did a good job of adapting to how Leviathan was playing that attacking side, had some good coordination and ideas with those pre-takes. Overall, I think they showed some potential, but again, want to see more from them in the future. This was a tough match.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, folks, for more on that match, let's go ahead and send it over to Sideshow because he's standing by with Your Highness. It's King for the Verizon post-match interview.
Wow, that's a fantastic way to intro it. Yeah, I'm down here on the stage with King, the IGL from Leviathan. Those were two very different maps, King. I feel like the first one was over immediately. What was the feeling in the camp for Leviathan after you come off the back of that win on Ascent?
Yeah, I mean, it was normal for us, meaning like, okay, we win the first map really easy, and we're not overexcited like saying, okay, let's win again like 13-1 or 13-2. We were, okay, focus on the next map. We don't know anything about them.
Right.
And yeah, we're just focusing on our stuff. Actually, we were talking about, we had a scrim today on Pearl, and we went to our room and we started saying, okay, what we did wrong. And we started immediately speaking about the map we played today, so yeah.
Right. I mean, I want to talk about Pearl, though, because that was the first time I think that we've seen you guys play on that map.
Yeah.
And it was getting a bit shaky there towards the end. Did you feel like you were getting pushed and pressured? It felt like the time in particular was a problem for both teams.
Yeah, I think Zeta started to play really... They stopped to have contact on us. Like, they started to fall back, and every thing we did, there was no one. Like, when we started to play on Art, we just had a Killjoy turret. On B, we always had a Jet doing his operator pick, and I think we never died against him on B. So yeah, I think our problem was that we still played like they were going to be like on the first chokes, you know?
Right.
So then Honor paused and he said, okay, they're not playing on the first chokes, so let's be more aggressive and then make the contact like way back, you know? So that's why then we start to do our stuff, and it went okay, I think.
Yes, yeah. I mean, you come out with the win in the end.
Yeah.
But you mentioned earlier that you just had a scrim on Pearl, and you were talking about that coming into this game. Now, I've heard more than I probably should have about your scrims, and it seems like the word has been getting around that you've been destroying people, and that, you know, a lot of people are hyped up. Like Som from NRG was bigging you guys up, for example, too. So, is this putting extra pressure on you? Is this all, you know, have you just been destroying everybody, and now you're got more pressure to actually perform in the matches?
Yeah, I think not everybody, but yeah, we've been having some good results, and I heard about the energy guys saying some things about our scrims. But yeah, when I first heard it, it was on the press conference, so I was like, whoa, well, I didn't know. And it meant a lot to me because I have a huge respect to every player on that team. I know everyone since the CSGO era, so yeah, and I think we're doing good, and we hope to show what we're doing on scrims to do it again on official. So yeah, I'm pretty hyped up, but no pressure on us, just doing our stuff.
Okay, just doing your stuff. Well, I think we're all very excited to watch your progression throughout the tournament and see whether some of that hype can actually get realized. Appreciate you taking the time to do the interview with me, King. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll send it back down to Golden Boy in order to close us out for the day.
Thank you so much, Sideshow, for that one. And yeah, you know, great to hear from King on that one. Obviously, for them, it's just play your game, do your thing, you'll be all right. And I've talked to those guys a few times. They have good heads on their shoulders when it comes to like just game theory and just like having like a calm, cool mentality. I mean, seriously, like hang out with Takaleo one time and you'll feel like the coolest person in the world.
Yeah, they're good guys, and they played very well today, but I'm happy to see that they're continuing the grind set now that they're here. Immediately off the game, you're talking about what you did wrong, you're talking about the next match, you're working on improvement. These guys are very, very serious about making a deep run.
Yeah, well, of course, we can't forget about our HyperX Reflex moment of the day, and we're going to toss this one over to Depp from Zeta Division because we want to give the man some flowers for this play. I mean, there were some obviously big moments across the board, every single player here, and actually we have Sugar Zero there on screen.
So the last second change up, we ended up going with Sugar Zero because the man did so many smoke pushes. He was
I like that
walking
better.
through the nebulas, and a lot of times it wasn't working, but this was the time that it mattered the most, and he managed to make the most of it. Pushes in, immediately has that first kill, manages to transition over. Takaleo cannot get that elimination on him, and then that unfurls the entire round from there. So it was a really great play from Sugar Zero. Unfortunately, he wasn't getting away with it nearly as much as he did in that clip. Otherwise, we would probably be looking at a map 3 right now.
Yeah, I mean, GB, you said it earlier, but we saw a little bit of that Zeta magic, and that was in some of those wild individual plays that this team managed to pull off.
Yeah, like, you know, Depp had one, Sugar Zero had one, Laz had
Too many
many.
to count.
Like, everyone on Zeta had a moment, but the thing is we're excited to see what they could be doing moving forward into the Pacific League. But that is our first day of the Omega bracket coming to a close, and here is the bracket as it stands right now. I know you all at home miss the dartboard so much, so we just decided to run it back again. But look, Team Secret just trouncing Liquid was my that was my HyperX Reflex moment of the day because my neck just spun around when I found the results.
Yeah, it was a nasty performance from Secret, and Liquid just couldn't hold a candle to him. I was praising them during the cast. Secret just time and time again. They were going for things that didn't necessarily have payoff, but I love the ideas that they were having, like that setup on B on Icebox. They're just firing off util into Garage because if they do catch anybody, that snake bite, that shock dart, it's just going to tear them to shreds. I love the ways that they were playing that map, and I can't wait to see them moving forward as well.
Yeah, and I love the rest of the teams that we got to see debut here that are moving on. Na'Vi looked fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Leviathan looked fantastic. Well, I think there's been some teams who have maybe let down a little bit from expectations. Those two definitely performed today.
Yeah, I already told Angel. I was like, I got you guys going all the way. And Angel looks at me and goes, really? All right, folks. Well, coming up tomorrow, we got 6 more teams that are going to be debuting right here on the world stage. It's going to be the debut of Global Esports versus
India.
Hello, India. GE fighting.
GE fighting. We also have RRQ taking on FUT, and we have 100 Thieves taking the stage against Edward Gaming.
Have we figured out who Edward is yet, or do we still not know?
He's going
Because I still
to
don't
do
know.
a face reveal if they win this tournament.
All right, I'm excited for tomorrow then. You
Jury's
guys gotta
still out
tune in.
on that one. Well, folks, that is going to do it for for us here today. We hope you enjoyed the show. We thank you so much for tuning in. A big shout out to our production crew and everyone who works their butt off to make this show a reality. And we'll catch you next time. There's going to be more games, and we can't wait to see you. Later.
We saw the Alpha bracket deliver last week, but this week it's all about the Omega bracket. 16 more teams will take the stage at the biggest VCT event ever. The Pacifics have already proven themselves to be a strong region here, whereas EMEA, they've been a bit of a disappointment, but that could all change right here, right now.
Nasa's meant to find one. Envy getting cut down Yappy on the entry. He continues finding a third.
What? Hot start to say the least.
No way. Certainly not. Jesse Vash, you cannot do this to the man. Unbelievable.
Not again. But that Viper's pit keeps Secret safe, and Liquid evaporating under the pressure. Secret, that first half gave them everything going forward. Now the positioning's decent though for Liquid. Good spot to be in. Nats a little precarious, but still good for it. Gorgeous round from Nats. That positioning in tower was second to none.
This is not going to surprise them whatsoever. The Guts covering fire. Jesse Bash has the headshot, and Team Secret have the firm lead.
Yampy has to come alive. Finds two. Tower is the last bastion of hope, and Yampy holds on for Liquid. There's so many players on the other side. It could be a tragedy. What?
Okay.
Oh, come on. I can't believe they've broken Liquid like this. Map 1 we wrote off. We doubted the capability, and we were wrong. It carried into map 2, and they ran through Team Liquid.
A lot of EMEA's hopes are riding on the shoulders of Na'Vi, but Crew, they're going to want their revenge here. They faced this team before. I know there's some new players here, but let's not forget towards the end of last year, I think Crew managed to go up against FPX twice and lost both times.
It's just a question of what they're able to take into the next round, and the answer is nothing. Can you keep them back? Can you keep them at bay? The spike goes down. Chow in a 1v3. Clean shots out from Davies. C-Ned cleaning that out, and now he's got to go fast, and he does! What a shot out from C-Ned. Nice. He's able to get the kill on Sugetsu, the flash in his face, and C-Ned does not care.
What?
Na'Vi, very clean map 1.
An absolute statement right off rip, and that was Crew's map choice. We're going to Lotus next.
Melser trying to play a little bit of mind games. 13 seconds left, he drops down, and Melser's right beneath him. A 2v1 here. Davies so weak. Can Xiao do it? Oh my gosh! The shot from Davies and the Red Bull clutch from Crew!
Oh, no. That's a big punish from Angel.
Oh, do we have a knife again? Nope, no knife. But 2 kills out for Angel. 4 on the round, 7 for Na'Vi. Chetty trying to dash around the utility, and he can't find much. Sugetsu's shots are clean.
I don't know, guys. It was too easy.
The lead gone. The series in favor of Na'Vi.
The European hope that we were all waiting for finally shows up here at Lock-In and take down Crew very quickly.
Once again, my submarine.
And here we go. We have a battle of the Americas versus the Pacific regions. It's going to be Leviathan versus Zeta Division. 2 teams that we are unsure what to expect in this one, especially for the boys in Zeta, given that this is the same roster with some slight tweaks.
Right as the smoke, just walking through. No way! You've got to be joking. There's no way. How? There's no way. A lot more active in this one, and the timing is just immaculate. Depp, 12 seconds of dash from Depp to survive, and he does nail the shot.
Very solid round from Depp.
Players just sitting in main, no one none the wiser. And again, once more, King just back and forth around Generator, and that will seal the deal. Map number 1 goes the way of Leviathan in a dominant fashion. Double tap, no way in hell is he able to win that one, and he does. Ooh, the double peek, but okay, backed up. Yeah, not even going to be trying to play to die to the spike, just looking to see if they can get a couple of kills, I suppose.
I mean, that was actually just a King aim lab shoot around.
And he is making it easy for them with these tracers, but it's a pop flash play. An instant response, instant action. Now time, solo, needs to be someone on it, and a flick, the spray down. Mazzino rips across, and Zeta Division have been sent home.
An excellent performance from Leviathan, but they were pushed almost to their limit, almost to their breaking point on Pearl.
Dead.
Kalma. Stay alive. Staying alive, staying alive. Stay alive. 5 seconds time.